Hello, everyone. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of August 21st. Okay, so let's just one little orientation moment. We're going to talk about being in the Strength and Moon month. We're going to talk about the fact that that's a nonlinear time. That's a time where ease and gentleness and non-force, like non-violent communication is going to be the route to success. We're going to not try to make anything happen. We're going to see what is naturally resolving itself. And in the last week, we had that energy of the Seven of Wands, which was just like, just give yourself a minute. And I hope that that was advice or medicine you were able to take over the past week, because the sense is that things are resolving. There's a lot happening. Maybe there's things that have already been set in motion that are now showing up in the world. It's the moment has arrived where something you've been preparing for is actually happening. And it's like to give myself a moment. It's almost, again, like an awareness of how you don't always have to be in the driver's seat. You don't always have to be the one resolving things. And the cards I pulled for us this week are Justice. And I actually pulled, the reason I'm saying cards is because I looked at Justice, and this is from the Mother Piece deck, and I wanted to pull from the Rider-Waite deck as well. And I pulled the Magician. So we're going to work with Justice this week, but know that the Magician is here with us. And it helps clarify what the energy of Justice is. So we know that the Justice is the energy of bringing love to the streets, right? So it's like you're full of love, you care about the world, you have a purpose and a mission and a medicine and work you're here to do. And Justice is the reminder that it matters what you do with your hands. It matters where you show up. It matters the words you speak. It matters the relationships you cultivate. It matters the art that you make. It matters how you feed into your community. How you show up, what you do in a day matters. And this has been coming up all month, came up earlier in the month, and I think I've talked about it on the gram a couple times. But what you do during a day makes up your life. It will show you what gods you are devoted to. So if you look at your life and you watch what you're doing day after day, you will see what you worship. You will see what you hold sacred. You may or may not like what you see. You might notice that you spend a lot of time doing X, and you wouldn't consider that who you are. You wouldn't consider that something you want to grow or cultivate in your life. And yet your time is spent there. So what is that? Again, we don't need any more reasons to shame ourselves, no more reasons to judge ourselves or give ourselves a hard time or embolden the voices in our mind that are not helpful, the voices in our system that are not helpful. And it's helpful to look at your day and be like, okay, whatever I say I care about, let's look at how my day either lines up with that or doesn't line up with that. And it's a great thing to look at. Again, not always easy, but important, because you can have these grand plans, but at the end of the day, at the end of your life, your life is made up of the days and how you've spent your time and what you've been devoted to and where you've put your energy. We want to, in a Strength and Moon month, just, again, give ourselves a minute, not rush things, not have a sense of running out of time. We want to be as much as possible present with what's really here. So again, that energy, I hope this is making sense because it keeps coming up, and I hope I'm articulating it well. But that solar, bright light, obvious thing of, oh, I want to be doing this. This is what matters to me. Yes. And then these kind of more misty, mystical, nonlinear, foggy detours, side quests that are also coming up, and you might find yourself in, is where you're supposed to be. So it's like I find myself in this misty wood and I want to be on the bright lit sunlight path. Okay, but you're in the misty wood. So like what's happening? And this is a messy analogy, but we want to sit there and be like, okay, I'm here for a reason. There's something unformed or something uncovering itself for a reason. I was talking to my oldest daughter about this. She's worked so hard in school, was worried about an internship, a beautiful internship lined up. She worked so hard in her internship. And now she has like 2 weeks before school starts. And she's so used to running at the pace of what's being asked of her. And she thrives in it. And I think it was like she was 2 days that she didn't have plans. And this new idea popped into her mind. Whether she's going to follow it or not, doesn't matter. It's the lived experience of sometimes you need space for the new idea, for the new navigational point, for something to bubble up to say, this is actually this is a misty wood that I'm sitting in. There's something happening here, something I'm learning and understanding here that I know is going to be helpful. Is it going to be the end game? Maybe. But is it going to teach me something that's part of the evolution of who I am and where I'm going? Probably. And so we can't allow the ephemeral possibilities to bubble up if we don't create space for them. And for many of us, it's hard. It's hard to create space for ourselves, for boredom, for confusion, for a lack of clarity, for a lack of direction. And yet in a strength and moon month, that's going to be maybe the richest place of creation, the richest seat of creation. Something interesting I just thought of, which I haven't thought of in a minute, is in a lot of decks, justice and strength are flipped. So justice is usually number 11. Yes, number 11. And the strength is usually number 8. But in some decks, they inverse those, and justice becomes number 8 and strength becomes number 11. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there because we're in this strength month, we're in this number 8 month, and 99% of numerology would tell you that the tarot card associated with August is strength. But there is a kind of overlapping system that would tell you that the energy of the 8th month is justice. So it just says to me there's something, again, getting worked out here between the 8 and the 11. And the 8 is the manifestation, the real world possibility of I want this, I create this, I have an idea, it becomes something material. And the 11 is the fast track. The 11 is the master number of we're going to cover more ground than we can cover alone. We're going to cover more ground than we can anticipate. It's literally like your job is to point the boat and the 11 fills the sails with wind. So again, there's movement happening here that is not linear. There's movement happening here that doesn't add up. So it's 1 + 1 is 2, and yet here I am in a 7 or an 8. There's something about the way you think, again, bright light, clarity, solar, masculine energy, have a plan. And then there's this whole other subplot. It reminds me, again, I'm still watching Stranger Things with my son because we're very slow. But it's the upside down without the sinister part of it. But there's something about, there's this parallel shadow realm, and again, not in a sinister way, in a bubbling possibility way, that's kind of tracking us. And so it might be surprising how something that feels like it's off track actually speeds up a whole other part of your life. So again, these are hard things to put into words. They're much easier to experience or to verbalize or narrate on an individual level. On a collective level, it can be a little bit like, what? But I hope that you can feel in your own life, even if you can't feel the 11 energy, that vast movement energy right now, if it's something you have to maybe only see in retrospect, have a sense that you can't be off course in this month. So even something that feels unrelated might be the exact right ingredient that you need to put something together that could feel at the moment very unrelated, but actually is quite tied into your success in this part of your life that you're very focused on, or feels like it's the obvious thing to be looking at. In a justice week, we are going to think about balance. We're going to think about where we're actually showing up, what we're actually doing, talk the talk, but where are we walking the walk, and what walk are we walking? So what is that walk revealing about what we really value, what really matters to us? In a justice week, there's going to be a rebalancing. So justice is always going to bring a righting to the scales. It has a connection with harmony. There's a movement towards rebalancing, a movement towards a holistic, what's good for, I never say this, I swear to God, but it came up in the last podcast too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. It keeps popping through my head so clearly. And there's something about the justice that brings that harmony of, it is about my success, but it's about our success. It is about my peace, but it's about our peace. It is about love, but it's about love in a collective realm, in a larger realm than just maybe individual personal relationships. It's love with a capital L. It's love as a vibrational energy versus love as a life force versus love as a system of exchange. So when the justice card comes up, we're noticing what's getting righted. We're noticing where the karmic scales are settling, where something, again, that may have felt off all of a sudden gets revealed or gets rebalanced or gets remeasured. It's a week for you to appreciate, again, that walk the walk. Oh, I'm doing this, but I value this. Where do I want to bring those things to, to be closer together? The sense of integrity, and there's obviously many definitions of integrity, but you guys have heard me talk about this one, which I really like and I really value, is integrity is closing the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be, who you act yourself to be, who you are perceived as out in the world. We narrow that gap by saying what's true, by being consistent with ourselves, by being a safe place for ourselves. And that's integrity. And that's a superpower. It's a superpower to be who you are in every room you walk into. Something really wonderful about knowing that you are consistent and safe for yourself, but also for your community, also for your family, also for the people that you love. And justice is going to remind us of that in beautiful ways, and if we're really out of alignment, in maybe pretty robust ways. And that's all right. It's good to kind of see where you're out of line and have the loving reminder that there's another possibility, that you don't have to live in that kind of stretched out version of yourself. You're allowed to live in a way that feels more consolidated, more safe, more steady, more grounded, more real. In the Justice Week, we're going to notice where things are out of balance. We're also going to have the opportunity to reset, and we're also going to cover more ground than we think, but it's not going to happen by force. That's all I can keep saying about this month, is that we are going to move so much further than we anticipate in this month. And I guess you could liken it to the eclipses. There's a reason why the eclipses have this kind of intensity to them, because things are moving faster than you can calculate for yourself or can anticipate for yourself. And they're moving in a way that's resolving things that might not feel like it just doesn't add up. And yet the solution gets reached, the end gets reached. We reach where we're trying to arrive at. So the Justice Week, in the context of where we are, would say to me, watch and learn and have your ears and eyes open to what life is telling you, what is being presented to you, where you find yourself. Have your eyes and ears open to what feels like it's in alignment, again, like keyword for 2026, and what feels like it's being forced. And you don't have to be the resolver of that. You can be the witness of that and the surrendered participant in that. You can let things move along that need to move along and stay when they're meant to stay. I think that's a pretty full message for the Justice Week. Justice, again, is major arcana, so it says to me, if we take the Strength and we take the Moon and we take the Justice all together, there's just this sense of not forcing great movement and great harmonizing movement. And that's interesting. What's it like to be on that ride without being the gas in that engine? Does that make sense? It's a weird thing to say, but you got me. This is moving without you being the sole source of fuel. And Magician and the Strength on top of each other says to me that this might be a week where something really comes home, some manifestation really arrives, something really settles into place. And that will be interesting to observe that and experience that for yourself. Okay, cool. So a couple of things business-wise that I want to say to you. 2 things that I'm going to be bringing online in October, and I hope that you'll join me for those. One is that I'm going to start a free community call the first Tuesday night of every month. And that's going to be a free and open call just to have a place to ground together, to connect to each other, and to ask questions if there's questions that come up. But I'm just really craving a space of no pressure and also connection and community. And I feel like I have the capability of offering that. So I'm going to do that. So you'll see that in my newsletter. You'll see that on social media. I will talk about it as much as I can to allow that to be something that you can join and we can connect to each other there with no pressure, no cost. And if other people, you want to invite other people to be part of that, I just think it's good for us. That feels like a good thing I want to do. The other thing in October is I'll be bringing back in-person appointments. So I'm going to be a little bit more focused on shamanic work versus long-form tarot readings, but we can do both. And I'm going to open up a couple days of the month where I have people in real space again, and that feels really good. I'm excited to do that. Also in September, I'm starting I guess you'd call it a mail club. It's going to be called Field Notes or Notes from the Field. And it's going to be a little altar piece, a little card, almost like an oracle card / altar piece / journal experience that I offer, that I send out to you. And I'm going to send it out in September to my current clients and people that I already work with. But in September, if you want to sign up for the October one, they'll have way more information for that around that. And I'm so excited to do that. It feels like I'm really craving things that are real, things I can touch and things that have been touched. And I've always wanted to have a kind of like almost pen pal community. I've always loved the model of Post Secret. And I saw some people doing some things with mail clubs that I think are interesting. Every month, I'll be sending you a little oracle card that you can put on your altar, that you can, there'll be little journal prompts on it. There'll be kind of questions to consider. And hopefully it will be beautiful and it will be pleasing and inspiring to the eye and the hand as well. And then at the end of the month, you can keep it, you can collect it, you can create an oracle deck from it, you can burn it, it can be a burnable, and we can talk more about why you might want to do that. But that will be my gift to you. And I just love the idea of literally handing you something real every month. It feels really happy and good. So I'm so excited for that. And so I'll send out the first mailing, will go out for September. But if you want to sign up and join that group, that first mailing will be in October. And then, the last thing I'm going to do, I'm really cleaning house in my workspace and trying to do things that really nourish and align with me, but also with you and with the people that we kind of gather and resonate with. And while I love these weekly readings, I think that what I'm going to start doing is actually going through the deck one by one and doing a little weekly podcast on a different card from the deck every week. So I might do it in order. I might start at Ace of Wands and just go. I might do it out of order and just see what the deck presents us every week. But this weekly reading will change form a little bit. And my idea, my dream, would be that we would have almost like an archive, but a timeless evergreen archive of the tarot deck via the way that I think about it, the way that we converse about it, the way that it comes through as a channel. And then you would always have that. So if you pulled the Two of Swords and you wanted to think about it, you could meditate on it, have your own direct revelation with it, but then also come to the podcast and click on the Two of Swords episode and hear my take on it and hear what came alive through this transmission. And I hope that would be really helpful. And then that will allow me to keep the monthly podcast focused on the energy of the month and on the individual signs and their cards and their energies for the month. So those are all the things on my mind. Is there anything else that's going to change? I think those are the big ones. I really, really hope this mail club feels like a gift. I hope it's something you want to participate in. It would be a way to support me and support all the work I do and support me being able to do more free things. And I think it would also just be beautiful and lovely to send you mail. And if you want to send me mail back, that would be cool too. Oh, and then the last thing is Shaman School for September of 2027. I'm relaunching the website. So I'm going to have a new website up in the next couple of weeks. And with that Shaman School enrollment, that will happen. That will be up on a web page as well. So you can start the enrollment process for September of 2027, that 18-month cycle. So we'll talk more about that. Okay, that's a lot of chatting. Oh, and in the field notes, I'll also send a little letter that will be a letter of what else is happening and what's on my mind. Less like a business newsletter and more like a love letter. Okay. So those are my notes. Sending you so much love and take care during this Justice Week and really, really allow it to be a week where you allow things to reharmonize, to settle, rebalance, reharmonize. I still think that energy of give yourself a minute is here. And so if that feels like it's a good reminder for yourself, then please take that still. You can still use that one this week ahead. Okay, I send you lots of love and big hugs. Bye.